Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a not quite midnight edition of the Missing Links post-game live stream podcast thing. I'm Andrew Dukowitz, and pulling back the curtain a little bit, my theme song for the intro to this is now under background music and not under music. So that was a change. But I'm here with a couple of good dudes. Jonah Maves from ZoneCoverage. If you're not following him on Twitter, I have recently just started calling him the Nikias Duncan of Lynx Twitter because he just puts out film constantly. How's it going, man?
Hey, I did not expect what we saw tonight, but I'm fascinated to look at some statistics tomorrow because 11% coming into the night for Olivia Miles and quadrupled her 3-point output. So I didn't see that one coming. Can't say that. That's crazy.
I mean, Cheryl also said it wasn't on her bingo card. So, I mean, if Cheryl's not seeing it coming, I think that's probably a good sign for us that, we shouldn't either. But Conrado Pascual from PodiumFinish covers the Valkyries on the beat out there in Golden State. San Francisco is the actual location. Yeah. Conrad, how's it going, man? Long time no talk.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was no reason for me to hop on when you were doing Minnesota Timberwolves coverage. There's no reason for me to talk about the Warriors. So, I mean, it has been a while, but no, it's been great. This loss aside, I mean, I think the season has, gone off to a pretty good start for the Valkyries. I think, the fans, Valhalla is as enthusiastic as ever. So yeah, truly appreciate having the opportunity to cover the Valkyries for the podium finish.
I mean, it's always cool when somebody gets credentials, especially when somebody gets them that writes about college basketball, pro basketball, men and women, also does the podcast and also has like a full-time job. So from one guy that did it to another, like, congrats, man. I'm glad you're in the thick of it this year.
Thank you. You definitely were inspiration. You set an example, Can't say I'm like matching you, but again, you are the inspiration. So
hey, there is a path for us late bloomers to get into sports media, but we do have a game to talk about. Lynx beat the Valkyries 87-84. Conrad, I'm going to start with you because I felt through most of this game that this was the most disjointed the Lynx have looked all season. I mean, the turnover issues in the first half. I mean, they didn't shoot 40% from the field. They didn't really do particularly anything great other than Olivia Miles. It felt like this should have been a Valkyries win. I guess from your perspective, like what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably, I mean, I don't think Natalie Nakase would necessarily say, oh, yes, it should have been a Valkyries win. But everything that you just described, I mean, that is pretty much the formula for the Valkyries to kind of like gut out these wins. I mean, the uglier it is, the better chance they have of winning. Now, to be fair, they've made a lot of like tangible improvements from last season, but still, I mean, their margin for error, especially like in close games, is very slim. You saw that tonight. Ultimately, we can get into like some of the numbers because I've been like kind of telling Valhallans this like all season. I mean, like make no mistake, the analytics are pretty, the offensive rating's cool, but I mean, like you really got to look closer to it to see like it's not as dominant as it seems, And again, we saw that pretty much throughout definitely the entirety of the fourth quarter, some throughout the third quarter, where our offense is very one-dimensional, and that is really due to the limitations of the personnel. That's no shade to them, but I mean, again, I definitely understand it, right? They're taking shots that they feel comfortable with, but at the same time, they ultimately become predictable, and there really isn't a lot of flexibility to create outside of structure. And I think tonight we saw that, when like the initial action was blown up, it's it gets even uglier than it was at the beginning of the game, right?
I mean, it's a lot of threes, like 37 tonight. I remember in their brief postseason matchup last season, there was just a lot of threes, which, when they hit it, you can beat anybody but when they're not hitting, you kind of see this defensive just rock fight like tonight, right?
Yeah.
Jonah, wanted to throw it over to you here quick, just because Olivia Miles, 8 for 11 from 3, also has 7 assists and just 1 turnover, also has 3 blocks and 4 rebounds. I mean, it's her 10th game. I guess just like, what is going on?
I mean, I was just amazed by the shot aggression, because she talked in the post game on the Amazon broadcast about how they're going on screens. She's made threes before. She took like 200 of them last year. But still, coming into tonight, 18 attempts, and we get 5 makes in the first half. I mean, five shots alone from deep would be crazy for her in general. So I was just more so surprised by her willingness to take the shots. She talked about how they're going under screens, how she's still confident in that, how she's playing with rhythm. I mean, so many of the Lynx actions are designed to get her in advantageous situations. They love running the double drag screens for her across the top so she can get to her right hand, have multiple rollers, whether that's Nia Coffey, Natasha Howard, but we haven't seen anything quite like this where she's just letting loose from 3, and it felt fairly comfortable, which was the most impressive part. I mean, throughout the season, she's had some pretty rough misses. I mean, it's been hard to gauge so far, but the sample size is so small. So to see it jump back like this was just, it just got, once she made like the 6th and 7th and 8th in the second half, I was shaking my head after every single one. I'm like, what do you do about this? What do you do about this?
I think that's like, as people are wanting to bring up Liv with Conrado here, we will talk to Conrado about Liv. I promise we will. It's okay.
I already saw the quote tweets on the timeline.
But like, she's shooting 2 threes a game, and then to just go out and shoot 11, and you know, 3 or 4 of them were pretty like step back contested threes over Gabby Williams, which is, I mean, I don't know if that's like a heat check. I don't know if there needs to be a new word for that, but I'll be honest. Like, I even wrote about it this week. Like, her 3-point shooting needs to improve. It's really difficult to look at her college stuff and extrapolate it, but like, her free throw shooting has been fine. So theoretically, like, the 3-point shooting should come along.
Ranges, some of the pull-ups have been pretty solid.
But like, to just break out like this, where she's tying a team record and setting the rookie record for threes, like, I did not have that on any bingo card the entire season. But Conrado, I will let you defend yourself if you would like to.
No, I mean, you know, I think, with Olivia and her 3-point shooting, I kind of like, I saw the video that you posted about like Cheryl kind of saying it was very reminiscent of that one Baylor game. And that's actually what I was like talking to some like the Valks media about. I was like, this is very reminiscent of that game. As Jonah said, you know, he was kind of right on the money there in terms of what Natalie Nakase was looking to do. She kind of implied ahead of the game that they really wanted to be conscientious of trying to limit and contain Olivia's drives. So yes, you know, they were gapping her, they were going under screens. Obviously she got into an early rhythm. I would say Golden State at least made a little bit more attempted effort to, you know, close out than Baylor did, you know, but again, similar to that, right? Kind of catching fire early and everything like that. With me and Olivia in her 3-point shooting, it was always a matter of, again, as Jonah was saying, right? Like, to what extent can she continue to improve on that pull-up game? I wouldn't even say it was really a concern. To me, it was just more of like, again, how can you define her ceiling depending on, because she is going to have the ball in her hand so much, right? Like, to what extent is the ceiling of her offensive capabilities, given that we don't really know yet where her pull-up game is going to be. So that's really promising, you know, to see. And specifically too, also more so in the mid-range is actually what I was really looking for during her draft cycle. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely with you guys. I mean, that's kudos to her. I mean, that's good. You want to see any player, but especially a rookie, be confident enough to pull up if that's what the defense is in fact giving you. Because to be fair, I don't know if I want to say to be fair, but Golden State, they did adjust. It's not like they just continued to like leave her completely open in the second half. They really were trying to like hedge and recover, and she still was making them, you know? So again, if you want to call that like the hot hand theory, and, you know, she kind of got into like her early groove, but no, I mean, kudos to her. She definitely deserves her flowers.
It's one of those things where I am also like on a nationwide Olivia Miles apology, because I didn't even consider her to be drafted to the Lynx. I was just like, AZ Fudd, K-Mac replacement. That makes sense. Our fam needs size, generational 19-year-old center. That makes sense.
Right.
Cheryl's never had success with a rookie point guard. Let's put that off to the side and move on with our lives. And like, I couldn't have been wronger. Like, this marriage has been incredible. I mean, Jonah, we both, you know, cover the Timberwolves. We were begging for this for 82 games from
That's all I
the
can think
men's
about.
side.
All I can think about.
Literally. And the Lynx just, it's hard not to look across like the gender gap in sports of just like, Liv could play with Ant. Like, let's just have her suit up year round.
I need it.
Like, it is like a generational skill that she has, especially running the pick and rolls, which I know
I
you're
love
more
the
of an
McCowan
X's and
quote
O's
that
guy.
you posted about as well, about how Tier's only been with the team for probably 5 days, and she was already talking about how she feels so comfortable to play with it sounded like it every time you watch her, every time you hear other people talk about her, they talk about her like she's been in the league for a decade. It's nuts, especially with the pick and roll prowess.
I mean, it is. And that's the thing that's been like so fascinating to me is just like, she's completely figured out Natasha Howard. Like, she just knows where to get her the ball, knows when to pass it, when to kind of snipe the gap, when she's like turning her hips, like just she's figured out a 16-year or 13-year veteran in a month. And then like McGowan gets signed here, and within, like you said, 5 days, she's already figured out all of her tendencies. Like, that's the thing I can't comprehend fully, is just like, how do you learn people that fast? Which everyone I've talked to on the team also doesn't know how she does it. So it is kind of insane, right?
Yeah, I think it's just everything that they kind of needed in the table setter position. I mean, like we say, we have all these concerns with the scoring kind of long term as teams adjust. Like, we even saw it in the Chicago matchups where Olivia struggled to get downhill because they're just so gigantic. And I mean, they've played Chicago like 3 times already for no reason. But I think that just being able to have something to rely on and be able to play. I mean, to have Courtney Williams on one side of you, Kayla McBride on the other side of you, and ample rollers, like it's a fantastic situation to be in for a playmaking archetype. You can go second side to anyone. If your dribble's not there, you can multitude of screeners, multitude of movement on top of just the schematic stuff that Cheryl brings. It's how quick it's developed and how seamless it's begun to become is just pretty shocking.
Which, I mean, the elephant in every conversation like this is like, they don't have the second best player in basketball right now, which Conrad, from like the outside looking in, like like, I guess, what's the thought process of like the outside view of the Lynx of like, they're doing this without Fee, without Dorka?
Yeah, I mean, just to rewind a little bit, I mean, you know, once it was made official that Olivia was being drafted by Minnesota, I think a lot of people like out here, like in Valk's media, were like, you know what, this actually makes a lot of sense because, again, right, there's the possibility. I don't think at the time it was official that had Lon already agreed to go to Dallas yet that time? I can't remember. But that might have not have been.
So she had already signed with Dallas. Yep.
Okay, right. So, you know, we're like, okay, and then Fee's going to be out for like, you know, let's be conservative, maybe until the All-Star break, you know. So Dorka wouldn't be like that, you know, starting the season. So we're like, okay, like if this is not necessarily a tanking year, but like kind of like a soft reset year, you know, like this makes sense. This gives Cheryl an entire season to get Olivia like acclimated, right? And they can kind of get on the same page. And then next year, you guys would be like, 100%. You'll be able to kind of fill out the roster, especially like, rebuild your front court. They skipped that part. They skipped that part. They just went straight to what we thought would be next season, without fees. So again, I know like outside, the mainstream media, there are those kind of like, I don't know if I want to say narratives. I'm definitely not. I don't believe it's a rumor. Just like the speculation of like, oh, Fee signed a 1-year deal. The ambiguity of like if she'll return or not. But I mean, I think what you guys are accomplishing in her absence, I think that should kind of give her more confidence in this franchise moving forward. I think you could see. There's a definitive path to not just being, a contender, but a champion, right? I think you have like the building blocks. So yeah, I mean, for a team like the Valkyries, who again have their own championship aspirations, they're trying to again build upon the identity that they established last year. Yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota is definitely a team that they look up to, they aspire to be like, and again to be able to achieve winning at the consistency that you guys have done for damn near like 2 decades, or I don't know, so yeah, I mean it's definitely big. Yeah,
I mean, it's to your point. I mean, even Cheryl in training camp was like, I think this year is going to be a lot more like 2023 than 2024 and 25, and then just nope, 8-2. I'm guessing after tonight, they'll still be the second, third best offense, first best defense, first in net rating, first in plus minus. We can go through all of the stats that they're going to be first or top 3 in. But like it's really been kind of remarkable of just how fast it's come together and how seamless it has, which like, I mean, honestly, it kind of reminds me of the Valkyries last year. I know that might sound weird, but like the Valkyries also kind of just like everyone new on the team, Nikase just figures it out and makes that team pretty good right away, which I do think there is something to if you have a coach that can select their entire team, like how that team is going to play. Because there's a lot of just Cheryl Reeve players on this team, right, Jonah?
Yeah, I mean, that's the really fun thing I think about the Valkyries and Lynx matchups is you can really see the identities of both sides. It's just plain obvious, and they're so drastically different. So I think the kind of chess battle with that is really fascinating. I mean, it's just it's always so good to watch a connected team and the team as a collective make everyone the sum of their parts greater than the individuals. That's always the best it's going to be. I mean, we see it with like Nia Coffey's just been incredible this season. You look at all of her prior career numbers and it's drastically different. And then you look at how Chechi's been playing like with the Valkyries, just players that they can pluck out of expansion draft. They picked up Salon from overseas. Both are just, I mean, every time both of them put a shot up, I think it's going, and it's ridiculous. For every Olivia Miles 3 we got, I got a terrifying Chechi or Salon pull. It's just, I love to see how they can pluck these play. Like even Caitlin Chen got picked up last year and didn't play a lot, and is already, I know she had a really big season overseas and she's starting to perk up a little bit more this season. You add some more talent like Gabby Williams. Like it's a weird process with these expansion teams because it's building from the ground up, but to see the Valkyries already have the cohesion, connectivity, whatever buzzword you want to throw out there, it's what it is. It's what it is. It's good basketball.
It is. And that's like the most fun thing about games like tonight, where it's like, it's just good basketball. There's no foul baiting. There's no, the refs we can talk about a little bit, because I know a couple people in the chat have brought up the refs with calling it a inadvertent whistle with 5 seconds left might be one of the most insane things I've witnessed in a basketball game. That just wild.
The technical foul was something.
Real soft tech. Just why some of the fouls, the Chen falling down foul, like it was just, I don't know. Conrad, I haven't talked to you in a while. How's your officials? How's your officials vibe been this season?
I mean, again, anytime Natalie is asked about the officiating, or if there is something that comes up that is officiating related, she'll just always defer to the statement she's been saying since training camp, which is the league debriefed all teams about the rule changes, and we are going to play around those circumstances. That's all she'll say. Yeah, I mean, I it's weird. It's definitely been weird. I know that the WNBA has for a long time really prided themselves on being a physical league, especially when comparing themselves to the MNBA, but I do feel that like in the early going of the season, it has really been inconsistent with regards to what like the level of physicality they allowed. I'm all about, again, physicality. I mean, it's easy to say that as someone watching and not playing, but all I'm saying is, sometimes we've seen in some games it gets like things escalate very quickly because refs aren't doing enough to contain it. Other times there's just like, a ridiculous amount of ticky-tack fouls. I mean, I can't remember what game it was, but like I think it was one of like the Valks versus the Fever game. It felt like it went on forever. Like just because like both teams were in the bonus by like the 8-minute mark. I'm like, what is going on here? So yeah, it's definitely been weird. I know, again, like, yeah, Natalie tries to, deflect those questions, but I know it definitely bothers her.
Yeah, Cheryl's done a good job this year of taking the we have to adjust approach of like,
yeah.
We have to just figure it out. Like, it's on us. We can't be fouling this much. Like, we will figure it out, which, I mean, only 15 fouls, 33 total fouls tonight. Like, that's not the worst by any means. Honestly, that's probably on the lower side of what we've seen this season. But like the moving screen stuff has been wild this year. Some of the like, off ball fouls have been kind of insane this year. It's just, yeah, as Dustin says in the chat, and like you mentioned, it's the inconsistency that's just maddening. They called like 3 moving screen fouls in the second quarter, and then I don't think they called another one the entire game. And it's like, well, what changed? Because the screens look the same, which I don't know. Jonah, where are you sitting at with the WNBA refs?
I just, it's hard to avoid because I think the points of emphasis, all the stuff they've been talking about is important. It's important to talk about, but game to game, I just can't get too caught up into it because it's just you're getting yourself down a wormhole with that one. I try to stay out of that one.
Jonah with the PR correct answer.
It'll get you some impressions on Twitter. That's for damn sure.
On Twitter. I will say my main stance is still abolish replays. I can't do it. This game would have been like an hour and 50 minutes without replays, and that would have been amazing. But instead, Conrad, what were you going to say though?
No, I was just saying like, it's just that like, yeah, from game to game, like you'd like to think that these things would even out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know. Every official, again, despite them all supposedly receiving the same kind of rules, the same mandates, I guess every official kind of sees things differently, maybe interprets things differently. I don't know, but because I don't know, like the freedom of movement, mandate in theory is a nice idea, but that's also what we said when it was, introduced in the MNBA, and it kind of got excessive, right? And as you said, right, games got longer for the wrong reasons. So,
and that's like my thing more than anything is like I do really think basketball is at its best when there's flow and when there's a lot of stoppages. Not only does Andrew get grumpy because, it's going to take longer, but like when there's a lot of stoppages, it's just really hard to get into like shooting flows and stuff like that. And like the game just gets choppy. And like, I just think it like aesthetically isn't as pleasing, which, that also we can't have people just chopping people's knees out in the WNBA and like borderline getting into fist fights either, which, that fair. I just hope there's a better balance than kind of where we've been at. Abby's telling me to stop being an old head. That is the one thing I think I'm an old head with. The mid-range can go away still. Like I understand, all these new fanfangled statistics, but man, it was just better without replays. I'm going to throw us over to a couple ad reads here. When we come back, Jonah, I want to ask you one last thing about Miles that my seat partner Terry Horseman brought up during the game. And that's just like at this point, like how many guards in the league would you take over Miles? But first ads. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. All right. Shout out to Firehawk and Pence Homes doing the Lord's work. Pence Homes was courtside today yelling at everybody. So we love him for that. Jonah, I do want to pose that question to you because we're 10 games in, which, offensive rookie of the month set the record for 3-point makes now, has shown these like flashes of what she could be. And then you look around the league. I mean, who would you take over Liv at this point?
I mean, the toughest part is how high are we going this season? Because the rise so far has just been monumental. But I mean, I pulled up all WNBA teams last year just to get an idea, because I saw some people talking about that already. I mean, that's a lofty play, but I mean, even All-Star looks pretty tantalizing right now.
Yeah.
She's reaching that upper echelon already, which is pretty incredible. I don't know where I can put her right now, but I think she's for sure playing at an all-star level. I think that's my best way to put it so far.
I mean, honestly, I'm in the same boat, but continue cooking.
Yeah. It's just like I said, what is the ceiling for this season? Where are we going to go with this season? Because all the production numbers have been incredible. The eye test is obviously incredible. She makes her teammates better. I mean, there's all the great intangibles, and then it's a tough question to ask after she makes 8 threes, because that just makes you feel a hell of a lot better. Because that's the biggest question mark, obviously. But I think it's just continuing to see how she adjusts as the season goes. That's really going to set the limits for her. But what we've seen so far, I mean, she's clearly one of the premier guards in the league if she continues this play. And what's stopping her from growing? I don't know.
that's kind of where I'm at. Like Josh Van Klomp over on YouTube brings a stat up from ESPN that she scored or assisted on 317 points in 10 games, 1 point behind Paige for the most by any player through 10 games in WNBA history. I mean,
that's just driving to the hoop.
It's just driving, and it's pick and roll. Like that's all it is just pick and roll over and over again. And I think the thing that I continue to just get excited about with her this season is, again, at some point, Fee is back. Like K-Mac right now is one of the most doubled players in the WNBA, and is drawing. I think it was like someone in the chat mentioned it the other day, and I brought up the stats behind it. She's like third in the league in like gravity pull off ball. Like that doesn't happen with Fee. Like court's all of a sudden more open. Natasha Howard's already getting like running lanes at the rim. That's going to get way better when you have a 40% volume 3-point shooter in Fee in the corners. Like
another roller and shooter in the same body. It's the most. You're adding such another complementary piece.
Abby Lynx, you get credit for the gravity. Thank you for that stat. But like again, it's just like Liv is going to have to figure things out. Obviously, as the season goes on, people are going to throw different coverages at her. Like eventually, I would assume the kind of coverage they're playing on K-Max switches over to Liv. But then you just get feedback and everything's going to get easier, which I think that's for me where I'm kind of looking at it of like, I don't know, like could she realistically finish on an all WNBA team? Like probably, just with what she's going to have. Conrad, though, I do want to jump back to less Lynx talk and just talk a little bit of Valkyries here as we close. Just 6-4 on the season. I'll be honest, they have been one of the more fun teams for me to watch. Like even when I'm just casually watching, like they're just enjoyable. Like, I guess what do you feel like the ceiling is for the Valkyries? Because I do feel like nationally they still don't get talked about very much, despite being in that like playoff picture potential contender role.
I mean, now that the team is fully healthy for the players who can be available this season, right? Ileana Rupier will likely be sitting out all season. She's pregnant, so congratulations to her. But, you know, her absence this season kind of, I think, threw a big wrench in their plans. They know how much more dynamic and a little bit more balanced they were last season when she was in the lineup. They have nobody at all who could, you know, kind of replace the things that she did or does. So they kind of had to really adjust like on the fly, really just like the final days of training camp. But having said that, I mean, they're still trying to really determine what their ceiling is, right? I think that is a question they're asking themselves. I think a lot of us, you know, who cover the team, I feel like they're still a playoff team. I feel like they could maybe win in the first round, you know, depending if they get like a fairly good matchup. But beyond that, I just can't put them, you know, in the next tier or the next tiers up. Just because, again, like kind of like what we were talking about at the top of the episode, right? I mean, like what they do extremely well. But the things that they don't do well, they're like either really horrible or they just don't do it at all, which is again why they look so one-dimensional, right? So, you know, maybe as the season goes along, if Yusuke Yoshite, you know, can continue to like, you know, get comfortable, find her rhythm, and find like really like her place on this team. Today, I wasn't really particularly excited about her coming in as a backup power forward. I thought that was really, I mean, we saw it the other day, but we were like blowing out Portland. Like to do it like in meaningful minutes, I thought was kind of odd tonight. Like we had other options. Like you could have put her at the 3 at least, you know, but whatevs. So yeah, I think right now, unless they were to make some midseason trade, which I'm skeptical. Like I definitely understand why fans are you know, daily, you know, contemplating it, hitting up the trade machine and everything like that. And I get it, right? Like there are probably trades to be made, but Continuity and connectivity has been like the mantra of the 2026 Valkyries. Like, I think they are primed to make a big move, but that big move I would think probably comes in the offseason. So yeah, I think they're, like you said, they are a fun team. And it's an easy team to get behind, but it's also a team that's hard to really believe they could make a deep run. If they're maybe like a 6 seed, sure, like they can, but we struggle against you guys. I wrote a very long article about why we struggle against Las Vegas. There are just certain like matchups that like it's just an uphill climb every time.
It does feel like I feel pretty similar this year to how I felt last year of like, if they don't get the Lynx or the Aces, they're probably winning a playoff series and it's going to be really fun. But like, man, you can kind of see it when, I mean, they shot 14 to 37, 38% from three tonight. Like it's not like they were just not hitting anything. It just, their offense is tough at times. John mentions those words are what the Wolves used ahead of their season. It didn't end well for the Wolves. Fair.
To be fair, I don't know that a majority of fans really view the Valks as a serious championship contender the way they viewed the Wolves. So I'm just saying. Okay.
Fair. Couple of people just to close on here. People have brought up Fee's injury timeline. Cheryl, injuries are just weird. Like Cheryl at practice yesterday said, like, is Fee doing basketball activities? Like, yeah, but she's not doing team activities. And
I basketball activities phrase.
Right. Like, is Fee after practice occasionally shooting a basketball? Certainly. Like during warm-ups today,
half-court shorts,
shooting a basketball. Like, yep. Like, yes, she is doing some basketball things. I don't know how close she is. Like Cheryl pregame said that it's probably closer to week at this point, which that's also like just how the Lynx are with injuries. They don't really leak a lot of stuff out. So it could be week to week and then Fee's playing like next week, Thursday. You know what I mean? Technically didn't lie, but also we don't really have any idea. I still think she is closer to being back than not. She's out of the boots. She looks like she's moving around pretty well and walking like a normal human again. What I would also say is just like, Fee needs to be 100% before she comes back this year. Like, again, Conrad, you mentioned the 1-year contract. Like, she's on a 1-year contract. You don't want to bring back like your back-to-back runner-up MVP too soon and then have her twist her ankle and miss the rest of the season and, potentially cost her re-signing with the team if it's like a team mistake like that. Dorka, I do think, is a little bit more close though. Like she's been out of the boot for a while now. I don't know if she's doing team activities. Probably ask Cheryl about it tomorrow. As Abby says, how many times can we ask about the injury returns between she throws her shoe at me? When Ant was injured, we asked Chris Finch about Ant's injury every single day for like 4 weeks, and like just part of the job. She understands that it's annoying. We understand that it's annoying, but like fans care a lot, so we have to ask, which, as Reigning Hen says, we're all doing basketball things. Yep, exactly. She's doing basketball things. We're doing basketball things by talking about basketball. It's just coach lingo. I'm assuming it's the same over there with the Valkyries, right, Conrad?
Oh my goodness. Every time we were asking about when Yusuke Yoshite was going to arrive or when she was going to join the lineup, there was like some really interesting phrases, right? Like, oh, she like any player coming back from or after having finished their overseas commitments, they get a week to acclimate and rest. It's like, so is she in San Francisco? Like, is she with the team? She's resting and recuperating. Like, what are you talking about, man? So, So yeah, there's always those fun ways of avoiding or not giving a direct answer. But I mean, for you guys, I would think, right, like I'm sure like any team, there's going to be ups and downs, right, throughout a long season. But if you guys, barring any, injuries or any additional setbacks, I mean, if you're still winning, isn't that just more reason to not like to take even more time with Fee returning? I mean, like, because I'm with you. Like, in addition to, potentially throwing a wrench in her resigning with the team, like you wouldn't want her to experience a setback, right? Where it, potentially, affects her ability to compete at a high level next season. So, I mean, like in a weird way, you guys are like playing with house money. I mean, I don't know, right?
I bring this up with the Lynx a lot. It's just kind of unfair. Like it just really is. Like them getting they do the Angel Reese trade, they get Alyssa Peely, everybody, the sky is falling, and then they end up with the number 2 overall pick for Olivia Miles, and Angel Reese gets traded to Atlanta for 2 Atlanta picks in the future. And it's just like, yeah, that probably wasn't fair. And now like this situation with Fee coming back, it's just like, yeah, it's not really fair that like the best record in the league is going to get the second best player in the world back just casually out of nowhere. It is. I mean, the other thing I would just add is, I don't think they're gonna, if Fee is 100%, like Fee is going to play. Like that's just the type of person she is. I don't think there's gonna be this like, what is it, dog walking or whatever, where it's just slow playing it to earn her more rest. Like when Fee's ready, she's back, right? That being said, like, there's no pressure to bring her back early when you're the best record.
She hasn't played basketball in a long time.
So. Yeah, she hasn't played. She skipped Unrivaled. She has done basketball activities.
That's like dribbling a ball. I mean, like,
yeah. Which that's
her
why
and Milo
I
dribbling the ball around the house.
Right. Yeah.
Like Underdog picked it up and like aggregated it out there that like Reeve says Fee is doing basketball activities, and it's like I'm watching basketball. That's a basketball activity. Like I have a basketball in my office. Sometimes I just like pick it up and palm it. Like that's a basketball activity. Like it doesn't mean much, but I just think knowing kind of how the Lynx operate with injuries, no one's going to know. And then all of a sudden, both of these players are just going to pop up as doubtful on an injury report, and it'll set the world on fire. Like that's kind of how they operate, which from a like management perspective, that's an awesome thing to do, because then no one expects it, and you probably get a really good return game because no one's going to be schemed for it, which we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's also all these like fines and like other weirdness around injuries now, to where like I don't blame teams at all for like keeping everything close to the vest. I wouldn't want to deal with that. Anyways, though, we're past 40 minutes. Jonah, floor is yours, sir. Where can people find you? Please plug all of the places. And if you're in here still, which we had like 60, 70 people in YouTube right now watching, it is past midnight. You guys are insane. But Jonah, follow him, but you can plug your own stuff.
Follow me over at Twitter at Huncho_Jman. I just wrote a piece about Nia Coffey and Natasha Howard, which I had a lot of fun with. I dove into all of their season numbers, compared to all their career numbers, and compared to their prior career highs, and everything's just shattered out of the water. It's ridiculous. So I dove into that and pretty much detailed why it's working for these two players and why it's such a luxury for the team moving forward once they get healthy. So that should be out tomorrow over at ZoneCoverage. So go give that a read.
2 Lynx writers at ZoneCoverage now. Not 1, but 2 Lynx writers.
My first Conrad, one of the year.
Hey, I'm just happy you're doing it. Like this team deserves so much more content. Conrad, where can people find you? And if people want to follow your socials and your work for PodiumFinish, please plug everything. I also hear you have a delightful podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I had a delightful guest before too, named Andrew Dukowitz. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at CP3_777. Comments, criticism, it's all welcome, apparently. But for my Valks coverage, or actually Valks, but also WNBA coverage, you can find it at thepodiumfinish.net. Again, really delighted to be part of that team. They have guys covering the Dallas Wings, Phoenix, the Sparks, I think Connecticut. So it's pretty cool. So it's a growing company. And then you can also find me at the Center Hub _BB. Do like some NBA and WNBA draft like articles or over there. And then my podcast East Meets West. You can check it out on YouTube, and I think it's also like on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, if you joined into this late and want to watch the whole thing, does get posted up on YouTube. Buzzer, BZZR, new sports app. It's over there as well. And X, as soon as I end stream. You can also catch it as a podcast audio version today. Oh gosh, we're past midnight. June 5th at 7 a.m. It'll get released for audio. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Sarat Sohi from The Ringer is going to be joining me to talk more National Link stuff as well as just WNBA fun things as a whole. So tune in for that. We'll be reading chat throughout. So appreciate everyone for being in here, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care.